This is nice. I wish you could be here with me. Oh man, there's nothing like the juice straight out of a coconut. Fantastic. See, the problem with what's happening right now in this video is that there's a really slim chance that where you are beats this. You know what I mean? Like, unless you're in a place just like this, it's hard to beat this. And so what happens is we see these examples of people on Facebook, right? Facebook is this weird place where people only post the fantastic things that are going on in their life. Except me, I sometimes post challenges and things like that, but for the most part, we'll post pictures like this, right? Chilling on an island, drinking out of a coconut, and it really is fantastic. But what happens is we end up only seeing this little tiny snapshot, and it's not accurate. Yes, I'm sitting here and it truly is fantastic. The temperature's perfect, the wind is perfect, this coconut is just right, it has that bit of tanginess to it and a delicious flavor. But what you didn't see was the journey it took to get here. All of the flights and sitting in airports and the hours and hours and hours of driving through some insane traffic and insane obstacles and all kinds of things. You didn't see any of that. You just see this video and you go, oh, the beach prophet's sitting there chilling on a beach, man, that's the life. That's gotta be it. What happens is, so often in our modern world is we lose the power of our mind to create because of the way we're using it. My friend Dave Blanchard with the Augmandino Group, he taught me this principle. He took a survey of about 3,000 entrepreneurs, and he said 98% of them had a secret goal. And that was two things: to escape and to avoid. They wanted to escape work and escape struggle and escape challenge and escape effort and friction. They wanted to avoid those things. And so what would happen is they would use their mind in this way of, instead of the power to create, they would use their mind to fantasize. And the fantasy works like this. We imagine up some scene like this, where we go, oh man, I can just see myself on this island, drinking a coconut or a pina colada or whatever it is you want to drink, chilling on a tree, hanging out with the beach prophet. And so what we do is, in our mind, we create that vision. We imagine that thing up. And what happens if we imagine vividly enough, our brain kicks off this chemical called norepinephrine. And norepinephrine is basically the chemical of actually experiencing that thing. So our brain can't tell the difference between something that's real and something that's vividly imagined. And so it kicks off this chemical, and in our mind this world exists, where we can sit here and we can kick back and we can just relax and we can drink our coconut and have this amazing experience. And the challenge is we forget about what it really actually takes to get here. And so if we are using our brain to fantasize, we're not including the four-letter word that most of us don't want to hear. And it's not some of those other four-letter words. It's work. When we use our brain to imagine some possibility, and we don't include the aspect of work, we're just creating a fantasy. And so what happens is we create this fantasy in our mind. You could vividly imagine yourself here. You could imagine the smell of that coconut. You can imagine that feeling of that bark under your feet. You can imagine the wind and the mist coming off the surf. You can imagine all these things, the sun just above the trees and the horses out in the field and all these different things, and make it so real in your mind that your brain thinks that you're there. And then the minute you open your mind, what's going to happen? You're going to look at your surroundings, and unless you're sitting on this tree, you're going to go, man, this is nothing like my fantasy. This doesn't look anything like what I imagined. And you end up going into this place of despair and frustration and struggle. And when you do that, your brain kicks off this chemical called cortisol. And it's this negative stress chemical. It's sort of like if you were being attacked by a bear, you'd have a lot of cortisol go through your system. So what I've seen a ton of people do is they imagine some outcome in their life, a relationship, or they'll imagine sex this way, right? Porn is really a big deal about imagining some fantasy with no investment required. A relationship where everything just works perfectly and everything is just flowing and it's happy and that person's there to serve you and meet your needs, but it requires no work on your part. Or physical health without any exertion. We imagine money coming to us effortlessly and just flowing to us. Imagine being able to just kick back and without any struggle or strife, have our coconut here on the beach. But if we leave out the element of work, we're tricking ourselves. We're setting ourselves up for despair and for failure. Because as we go back into that place of looking at our reality, unless we're sitting here, we go, this is awful. My body doesn't look anything like what I'm imagining, what I'm fantasizing. My relationship doesn't look like anything like I'm fantasizing. Why is the world not showing up the way I'm fantasizing? If we want to use our mind to create, if we want to access the true power of creation that's available in our mind, we have to learn the difference between fantasy and mental rehearsal. Mental rehearsal is the process of creating a world in our mind that's very, very real. It has the same components of fantasy. We envision this outcome that we want. And rather than see ourselves on the outside looking in, we practice how it feels to actually be there, how it feels to have achieved that. So I'll give you an example. With my wife, we went through years of struggle. And I wanted to be in this place where there was this profound connection, this incredible intimacy, this fun, all of these aspects. So I put myself in my mind in the place of being the person that had that. And then the other part of this is, and I felt it, I learned how to feel what it felt like to be the person that was in a relationship that was connected and fantastic like that. And then the other component is, I went and I did the work. Part of my visualization of getting to this beach right here, as I started to prepare this program and create these trainings and these videos, I mapped out what I was going to say and what I was going to talk about. I envisioned places where I would do it, and I included in that the work of earning the money to be able to come here, getting the right people that are part of the team that could help with the audio and the video and all these different components, the effort and the struggle it was going to take to travel to this place, which took almost 24 hours to get here, right? It took this long journey, and I imagined that as part of the process. That was part of this experience of being right here in this place right now. And I want you to be able to use your mind to create the things you want. I want you to be able to access this incredibly powerful tool. So the key component that we have to do, yes, it's good to create a vision of what you want to experience and make sure that's rooted in reality. If you want to improve your physical health, make sure that part of that visualization process includes you seeing yourself doing the work it takes to have physical health. Envision yourself consuming the things that bring you health and vitality. Envision seeing yourself and experiencing yourself moving your body and resting your body and feeding your body and exercising your body. And then you go and you actually do the work involved. Those are the key components for this to work. It's fantastic to use that muscle of visualization to see a possibility, to use your imagination and create a possibility that didn't exist. But you have to then connect the dots with that possibility and be willing to pay the price to go and get that. And when you do that, when you bring together a powerful vision that moves and inspires you, rooted in reality, rooted in natural law creation, you can get to this place where you can kick back and enjoy the sights and the sounds and the tastes that are all available if this is what you want to create. So my invitation is, begin to use this muscle to focus and create the things that you want to experience. And I look forward to hanging out with you on the beach one day. It just doesn't get better than that. I've created a little cheat guide for you to help you start to map this out and learn how to reprogram your mind so that you can use it to create rather than tear you down. If this is something that's interesting to you, just click on the link on this page, click on the button, and I'll send you the information, and you can start today living these 7 irrefutable laws of power.